So I wanted to get this video out sooner, but I work full time and I'm kind of just making these on the side. And apologies if you can hear my daughter in the background. Yeah, D2 dad. I have other responsibilities. But anyways, picking up where we left off. In the first part of the series, we laid out the good, the bad, and the ugly of Destiny 2. We praised the cinematic highs of the Edge of Fate, documented how the Ash and Iron updates spiraled into bug-ridden messes, and examined Bungie's ongoing monetization missteps and highlighted the dwindling player counts. Most importantly, we discussed how a passionate community can turn sour when the game they love feels neglected. Part 2 picks up those trends and goes deeper. Since the last video, a wave of major content creators have announced breaks or departures. Bungie has locked the game in several countries, and players' sentiment has shifted from frustration to exhaustion. We'll explore these developments, dig into what they mean for Destiny's future, and outline further steps Bungie and the community can take. Unlike Part 1, this episode will focus less on patch notes and more on the people and the systems that keep Destiny alive. The creators, the community, and Bungie's leadership. We'll also address the surprising region lockout story that has left entire countries unable to play. And we'll finish with a look at the growing calls for Bungie's new game director to deliver a candid state of the game. Creators on the brink when the faces of Destiny walk away. One of the most jarring developments of the late 2025 has been the mass exodus of prominent Destiny streamers and YouTubers. These are the voices many players trust to distill complex systems into digestible guides and to rally excitement for new raids. Seeing them step away sends a powerful signal about the game's health. Vlad skips the epic raid race. Vlad, one of Destiny's most recognizable raid streamers, announced that he wouldn't participate in the Desert Perpetual raid race. His reasons? Boredom. In his view, the game's power grind had become so meaningless that the D2 loading screen is more exciting than the game's power grind. Vlad cited burnout, frustration with Bungie's direction, and a boring hamster wheel leveling system. For a creator whose identity is tied to pushing the hardest content, choosing to sit out sends a dire warning. GernaderJake walks away from Trials. Meanwhile, GernaderJake, the Trials of Osiris specialist, whose skill once made entire fire teams rage quit, publicly stated that he was done with Trials. His reasoning mirrored Vlad's: the mode simply isn't fun anymore. If a player known for turning pub stomping into an art form packs it in, it's hard to deny that something's broken. Datto pulls the ripcord until Renegades. Perhaps most telling is Datto, Destiny's resident spreadsheet wizard and one of the community's most level-headed voices. Datto didn't leave with an angry rant. He aimed his frustration squarely at the community. On his stream, he described the player base as unbearably toxic, explaining that he has permanently disabled his YouTube chat because the negativity was overwhelming. He plans to take a break until Star Wars-themed Renegades expansion launches in December. Datto's candidness underscores how toxicity and burnout aren't just developer problems. They affect those who create and moderate communities. Rick Kackis is just over it. Even Rick Kackis, the ever-optimistic Bob Ross of Destiny guides, posted a video that essentially said, "I don't care." He argued that the new raid is a rehash and that Bungie's reliance on recycled content has killed the hype. When a creator known for finding something exciting in every patch loses interest, it highlights a broader creative misstep. These departures aren't just about individual burnout. They reflect a fundamental dissatisfaction with Destiny's direction and a signal to the community that even its champions are losing faith. Bungie should view this as an early warning system. If the people who profit from playing Destiny are disengaging, average players will not stay much longer. The bigger picture, when systems fail. The creator's exit didn't happen in a vacuum. They're symptoms of deeper problems that extend beyond bugs. A Geek Outpost article summarized the situation bluntly. The game feels like it's on life support. The article lists several systematic issues that have become reoccurring pain points. Meaningless power grind. Every major expansion resets the power grind, making months of leveling feel pointless. Players call it a hamster wheel that only serves to gate content. Persistent ancient bugs. Issues that date back years, like infinite supers or broken damage perks, keep resurfacing. Each new update seems to break things that were previously fixed. The portal activity. The new portal system intended to streamline progression has become universally hated for being punishing and under-rewarding. Instead of feeling like a catch-up mechanic, it feels like busy work. Region lockouts. Entire regions such as Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan lost access to Destiny overnight with no warning. Players woke up to the error codes that persisted for days, and Bungie's only response was that services were restricted by law. Record low player counts and radio silence. The combination of design woes, bugs, and monetization has led to record low concurrent players. Many feel Bungie's lack of communication only makes matters worse. The sum of these issues is a game that feels stagnant. Veterans complain that every new season repeats the same grind. New players are confused by complex systems that keep resetting, and when fundamental features break, it shakes confidence that Bungie can't maintain a live service game. Global lockout, when Destiny stops being global. In late September 2025, an entirely new crisis emerged. Destiny 2 became unplayable in multiple countries. Players in Russia, Kazakhstan, and Belarus suddenly encountered the TAPAR error and could no longer log in. According to FRVR, this happened during what many called the worst week in Destiny history. The situation grew stranger when Steam began issuing refunds to players with thousands of hours logged, something it ordinarily refuses to do. The FRVR report summarized that little information Bungie provided. In a surprise update, Bungie blocked access to Destiny 2 in Russia, Kazakhstan, and Belarus. No reason was given, though industry speculation suggests legal restrictions tied to sanctions. Bungie's only official statement read, "Destiny services are not available where access is restricted by law." The lack of clarity left players furious. Some had paid for the Edge of Fate expansion and season passes only to have the game vanish overnight. The lockout raises important questions. Was Bungie legally obligated to comply with export restrictions? If so, why were these players not warned? Regardless of the legal complexities, the PR response was disastrous. Whole communities were effectively exiled without explanation. Bungie needs to communicate proactively and, where possible, offer compensation or alternatives for players in affected regions. Failure to do so not only harms those players, but undermines confidence that Bungie can manage Destiny's global audience. A growing rift. Community sentiment turns sour. If you peruse the comments on the Destiny-related videos or Reddit threads, the prevailing mood is beyond anger. During Ash and Iron, there was an outrage over bugs and Eververse. Now there is apathy and cynicism. Players talk about Destiny with the tone of someone discussing a beloved pet that's terminally ill. Here are a few recurring themes drawn from community discussions and the comments on the first part of the series. Let it die. Many commenters now advocate pulling the plug on Destiny altogether. Some argue that Bungie should remaster Destiny 1 and move on, echoing comments on the YouTube that read, "Let this effing game die already." Content creators are complicit. Players accuse big creators of enabling Bungie by promoting the game despite its flaws or by popularizing exploits. One commenter compared them to people who keep hyping Thunderlord strategies only to wipe repeatedly. The Star Wars crossover is desperation. With the announcement of the Star Wars-themed Renegades expansion, some believe Bungie is chasing IP crossovers to remain relevant. Critics worry that crossovers distract from fixing core issues. PvP is abandoned. Complaints about non-existent PvP updates persist. Many feel that Trials has become a sweat fest with nothing new to offer and that Bungie focuses solely on PvE Eververse. Stop enabling greed. Players continue to blast Eververse and monetization strategies, referring to the 250 plus of new cosmetics in Ash and Iron and the reskinned Iron Banner set. While not all these comments are fair, they illustrate a community that has moved from critique to despair. Bungie must recognize that negativity on this scale drives people away faster than any bug. Creators, toxicity, and leadership. A closer look. In part 1, we talked about how content creators amplify glitches and inadvertently harm the game. The departures of Datto, Glad, GernaderJake, and Rick Kackis bring a new dimension to that discussion. Responsibility versus self-preservation. Responsibility cuts both ways. Creators often see themselves as community leaders, but they also rely on Destiny for income. When Datto disabled his chat and described the community as unbearably toxic, he highlighted a paradox. Creators endure verbal abuse while being accused of selling out. Meanwhile, a Geek Outpost editorial noted that the community's toxicity is itself a reaction to Bungie's bad decision-making. Attitude reflects leadership. In other words, Bungie's missteps create the frustration that spills over into chats and comment sections. To move forward, creators and players need to rebuild mutual respect. Creators should think twice before publicizing exploits that trivialize raids, and players should remember that content creators are human. One solution could be for creators to coordinate on a set of ethical guidelines, report game-breaking bugs privately through Bungie's support channels first, and avoid turning them into viral videos. Another is for Bungie to involve creators in a feedback council, as suggested in Part 1, so they have a safe space to voice concerns without airing every grievance to the broader community. Bungie's leadership vacuum. Many players feel that Bungie's leadership is absent. After Joe Blackburn left Destiny to work on Bungie's Marathon reboot, Tyson Green took over as game director. Since then, players have been begging for a new State of the Game post like Blackburn's candid blog last year. Some have gone further, calling for Green to step down entirely. Others want Bungie to decouple Destiny from the Marathon project, arguing that pouring resources into another game shows a lack of commitment. This leadership void matters because transparency builds trust. Bungie's few public responses, such as pulling an Eververse set into Iron Banner and acknowledging missteps in a Twid post, indicate the studio knows it has a problem. But players need more. A Fraken mission and what went wrong with Ash and Iron, a plan to stabilize the game, and a clear vision for the rest of the year. Without that, speculation and negativity will fill the vacuum. Moving forward, additional recommendations. In Part 1, we outlined several strategies Bungie could adopt: prioritizing quality, communicating transparently, rethinking monetization, balancing difficulty and rewards, partnering constructively with creators, reinvesting in the team, and embracing community passion. Those recommendations still stand. However, the events since then warrant additional measures. Number 1. Address regional restrictions transparently. Blocking an entire region without warning or explanation is unacceptable. Bungie should provide a clear statement about why services are restricted in certain countries and what, if anything, it is doing to restore access. If legal issues are to blame, Bungie should lobby for exemptions or offer refunds and access to offline content. Steam's willingness to refund thousands of hours of gameplay shows there's room for goodwill. In the future, players should be notified before such drastic actions occur. Number 2, moderate toxicity through better tools and culture. Destiny's chat systems are rudimentary, and the burden of the moderation falls largely on creators. Bungie could introduce improved chat filtering, endorse community moderators, and implement stricter penalties for harassment. Just as important is addressing the root cause of toxic behavior: frustration with the game. Delivering polished updates and rewarding gameplay loops will naturally reduce anger directed at creators. Number 3, offer a state of the game and roadmap. Players and creators are clamoring for transparency. Bungie should release a mid-year state of the game covering what went wrong in Ash and Iron, what's being done to fix it, and what to expect from Renegades. This update should include timelines for bug fixes, details on upcoming content, and candid discussions about monetization. Owning past mistakes can quell the rumor mill and demonstrate commitment. Number 4, champion skillful play over exploits. The allure of easy DPS bugs is real, but so is the satisfaction of skillful mechanics like sword skating. Bungie could highlight and reward legitimate high-skill techniques through in-game titles, emblems, or featured community videos. This would shift the culture towards celebrating mastery rather than chasing quick, cheesy methods. Content creators would then have positive, high-skill topics to showcase instead of bugs that get patched within days. Number 5, reassess content cadence and burnout. The constant churn of seasons, mini-episodes, and expansions appear unsustainable for both developers and players. Bungie might consider moving to a fewer but larger releases with longer lifespans. This would give QA teams more time to polish content and give players room to breathe. Slower cadence could also make each release feel like an event rather than a treadmill. Number 6, support the community through content curators. Destiny's complexity makes it intimidating for new and returning players. Bungie should invest in official onboarding guides and spotlight community resources from trusted creators. A curated playlist of tutorials, lore videos, and build guides, approved by Bungie and updated with each expansion, would empower players without sending them into an unmoderated wilds of YouTube comments. Conclusion: where do we go from here? The story of Destiny 2 in 2025 is no longer just about patch 9.1.0. It's about trust. Players trust Bungie to deliver quality content and fix what's broken. Creators trust the community to engage in good faith, and the community trusts creators to act responsibly. That trust is fraying. Part 2 of our deep dive has highlighted the widening cracks. Creators burnt out and stepping away, systematic issues like meaningless power grinds and hated activities, and shocking region lockouts that severed entire countries from the game. Yet these problems are not insurmountable. Destiny's core, its gunplay, its lore, its community, remains compelling. The fact that players still care enough to be angry shows there's something worth saving. Bungie now faces a crossroads. It can continue down the path of rust releases and minimal transparency, watching creators and players drift away. Or it can engage honestly, fix the fundamentals, respect its audience, and rally the community around a renewed vision. Destiny's fate isn't sealed, but time is running out. As guardians, creators, and fans, we should continue to demand better, celebrate what works, and hold each other accountable. Only then can the Traveler's light shine bright again. So there you have it. Destiny 2's current state is precarious, but is not beyond saving. We've seen how burnout drives creators away, how neglected systems and buggy updates sap our enthusiasm, and how entire regions have been locked out without warning. Yet if this community teaches us anything, it's that passion still burns bright. Now it's your turn to step up. If you care about the future of Destiny, make your voice heard. Drop a comment below with your honest take, whether you agree, disagree, or have ideas we haven't covered. Let Bungie see the depth of the community's knowledge and concern. Share this video with fellow Guardians who might not realize how deep these issues run. The more people who see it, the harder it is to ignore. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want more deep dive coverage. Every like and sub tells YouTube and Bungie that players still care enough to demand better. Take action outside this video. Support constructive feedback channels. Encourage your favorite creators to follow ethical guidelines when bugs arise. And if you're in an affected region, push for clear communication and fair treatment. We don't have to stand by and watch the light fade. Together we can hold Bungie accountable, uplift the creators who do it right, and make Destiny the game we know it can be. Thanks for watching, Guardians. Eyes up, and I'll see you in the next one.